Thanks for introduction. My topic is about ICH. First, let me thank you and thank IOM and thank the organizing committee to invite me here. It's a great opportunity. It's quite an honor for me to make a presentation on ICH. And I would like to present basic information and discussion of the ICH's operation and its benefit and the reasons of the success of ICH. Yes. This here shows the official name of ICH. ICH is International Conference on Harmonization of Technical Requirements, again, of technical requirements for registration of pharmaceuticals and for human use. It was established in 1990, and these are cited as official objectives. This clock doesn't work. This should decrease from the 50. I'm sorry. Objectives are to improve efficiency of new drug development and registration process, and to promote public health, prevent duplication of clinical trials in human, and minimize the use of animal testing without compromising safety and effectiveness. So basically, to reduce the duplication of the test and reports in the registration or the reporting to the regulatory authority. That is the main aim, and for that purpose, development and implementation, especially development of harmonized guidelines, that is the main business of ICH. This is the organization structure of ICH. It has a steering committee, and GCG, a global cooperation group, which I will touch on later, is the subcommittee to steering committee, and also Medra Management Board is also the subcommittee. And it has a permanent secretariat, IFPMA, which is helping all the operations, and working groups, there are EWG and IWG, but basically working groups to make the guidelines in the areas of quality, safety, efficacy, and middle grounds. What? Yes. Thank you. Multidisciplinary. And this is the structure. And this shows the membership. Founding members are, as was pointed out, from Europe, of course, the authority is ECEMA and FPR as the industry. From Japan, MHLW/PMDA, and JPMA, Japanese Industry Association, and from the United States, USFDA and Pharma. These are the founding members. They have the votes, so they call the 6 packs or 6 parties. And the observers, full observers, are these 3 parties, WHO Canada and EFTA basically represented by Swiss Medics. And also interested parties are cited here, like generic industry and self-made OTC industry and biotech and excipient and API industry. They participate in the EWG when the topic is of their interest, and they observe steering committee. And also drug regulatory authorities plus regional harmonization initiatives. I will touch on these when I later explain GCG. Their participation was a great breakthrough, which was pointed out by Mike earlier this morning. Anyway, these are the members of ICH. This slide shows steps taken in ICH. When guidelines are harmonized at ICH, these are the steps taken. The first one, step 1, yes. First one is EWG discusses, and when EWG expert working groups reach a consensus, there's a step 3. This is pretty important. This is consulting with regional regulatory agencies, comment period. So each 3 regulatory authorities ask the comments for the public. And at this stage, the comments come from all over the world via WHO and other regulatory authorities, and the GCG also. The regulatory authorities represented in GCG will play a certain role to gather the comments about the draft guideline, step 2 guideline. Then with that comments, they modify the step 2 guidelines to reach step 4. When the final agreement is made, this is adopted as ICH guidelines. And step 5, the importance of implementation of guidelines were pointed out by Mike 30 minutes ago or so. This completes the whole process, not only the making of the guidelines, but also the implementation, step 5, that is included in the steps. This is very important. Okay, this slide cites the major ICH products. ICH has made over 50 guidelines. The 4 major categories I mentioned: quality, safety, efficacy, multidisciplinary. These are the number of guidelines. And also electronic standards, especially about the electronic standards, CTD, electronized CTD is very important, and the common technical document, CTD. At the session before, the format or data set, it was data set or data format to be submitted should be harmonized. That was, or converged, shall I say, was discussed. But indeed, at ICH, CTD is the format to submit the data for new drug application. And this is developed, and also it is electronized. Therefore, you can submit electronically the data using these standards. Of course, these standards are developed with in cooperation with standard developing organizations, ISO and HL7S. And also, as the product MEDRA, this is the medical dictionary for adverse event reporting and the coding of clinical trial data. This is also important. Also, there are consideration documents. But basically, these guidelines are the main product, I could say. I would like to cite only just one example of the guideline. This is the Q1A. It underwent 2 revisions, but this specifies the conditions under which drugs should be kept for like 6 months, or these months, 12 months, 6 months, 6 months. To prove that the quality-wise stability of the drugs. And if you comply with this guideline, you can submit the data to EMA or FDA and PMDA/MHLW, because these are the harmonized guidelines, and we implemented, we meaning the 3 regulatory authorities implemented this guideline. Plus, there are many more regulatory authorities implementing this guideline. Thus, this is the harmonization realized through ICH guidelines. And before this guideline, of course, the applicants must make 3 sets of stability tests with a bit different temperature. Like Japan stipulates that it should be 27, EMA might 28, and FDA 32, for example. They have to make a very similar test, like 3 sets of data must be made. But after this, only 1 set is sufficient. It's a great saving of resources. And this I copied from ICH website. I mentioned the importance of implementation. This here is enlarged here. This part, this is about the Q1A. Hard to see from distance, but anyway, this shows the implementation. This ICH website cites about all the guidelines, more than 50 guidelines, when each founding regulatory authority implemented this particular guideline. About the Q1A, EU adopted by CPMP guideline, like it was when? 203, and FDA MHLW 203, also FDA 203. And after this, you can submit the data according to this, this guideline. Thus, the ICH itself publicizes when each guideline is implemented in each tree founding countries and region. And also beyond, it is not on the website, but they are implemented beyond the ICH countries, regions. Okay. Besides the drafting of guidelines, the promotion of implementation of ICH guidelines globally should be also cited as a very important effort of ICH. Here, Global Cooperation Group. This is again the subcommittee of steering committee. This is the objective of GCG is summarized. I summarized this as the implementation of ICH guidelines, and it was established in '99, and regional harmonization initiatives, namely APEC, ASEAN, East African Community, and these regional harmonization initiatives representatives have been invited since 2004, and then each drug regulatory authority from these countries or jurisdictions have been invited since 2008. And the experts from these regional initiatives plus DRAs are invited to EWG, expert working level, since 2010. This is very important effort of ICH to promulgate the ICH guidelines. This I copied from a report of GCG Global Cooperation Group meeting held last year at the Fukuoka meeting. As I said, no, I haven't said that. As was pointed out in Dr. Honig's presentation, there's a huge challenge for non-ICH member countries. Even for member countries, it's a huge challenge to have the capacity to implement guidelines. Thus, GCG is coordinating the training and the capacity building of the regulators of non-ICH member countries. And here, especially cited was the effort of RHSC and APEC LSIF, and the efforts of HC, APEC Harmonization Center. This, I guess, will be covered by Mike later. But anyway, the GCG's great effort in increasing the capacity to promulgate the ICH, or to promote the implementation of ICH outside the three countries plus the region is very noteworthy. Okay. Next, I'd like to touch on benefit of ICH. Of course, the benefits are the shall I say, engine or what drives the initiatives. Unless benefits are felt, the stakeholders or participants will not go forward with the initiatives. For the industry, reduced duplicate tests, reports, submissions are the benefits, which saves great resources. And for regulators, especially the data submitted for review are now more consistent with the guidelines plus CTD. That will make their review more consistent, and the good review practice can be easily made based upon the formatted data. With that, cooperation is made easier with the same data they are discussing. And also for the public, quick access to safe and effective new drugs. This is because of this faster process and saving of resources. As to Japan particularly, I just would like to cite two examples. Before ICH-GCP, Japanese clinical trial system was basically outdated. But with utilizing ICH-GCP as, say, outer pressure, or Gaiatsu is already in English, I've heard, but we successfully revamped our system to have the world level, world quality trial system. And also E5. E5 was mentioned in Peter's presentation, I guess. And we rationalized the requirements based on this guideline. And this discussion about ethnic factors and, well, about this, it was bridging study. Probably you might remember. And now it's MRCT, multi-regional clinical trials. So the discussion is going on, but basically it started when ICH adopted E5, it was 1989, and the discussion is continuing, and we spawned the tripartite cooperation between China, Japan, and Korea about the ethnic factors. So this is also a great guideline for us Japanese. Okay, so key to success. This is my version.
2 minutes, please.
Summarize, okay? 2 minutes, okay, 2 minutes, yes. 2 more slides. The first one is well-defined processes. I said step 1 to 5, and effective management and the steering committee, and commitment by the regulatory authorities to implement the guidelines, as I have shown, the cited in the website. And as the third point, I would like to point out that ICH concentrated on technical requirements, as is in its name. This merits some explanation. This is my last slide, or last part 1. In my understanding, or in my analysis, what is being harmonized can be classified into 3 levels, or shall I say difficulty. Too early. The first one is technical requirements, like ICH does, and the regulation or procedure is the second level, as Mike pointed out. And the mutual recognition and regulatory decision, if that is called harmonization, it is the most difficult. And in the discussion of harmonization, or perhaps convergence, these 3 are sometimes mixed. And the ICH concentrated on technical requirements, guideline, what data should be submitted in NDA, what temperature, what animal species should be made. That is basically technical requirements, not stipulating what the regulators should do or what should think and about the decision. Therefore, indeed, it was in my opinion, the lowest hanging fruit. And by concentrating this level of harmonization, I believe that ICH has been successful. And if the future discussion as to ICH or other regulatory or shall I say harmonization initiatives should be made with consciousness as to what level of harmonization is being discussed and what is the target, and the regulatory cooperation can be different from this level, this level to this level, right? MRA, this is the sharing of the data. This can be joint inspection. That should be, with that in mind, it should be discussed. Anyway, this was the why ICH has been very successful. Thank you very much.
So it's my pleasure to introduce James Fitzgerald, long-standing colleague from WHO, from Washington, has worked in Brazil and many other places. James, you're very welcome. You have the floor.